Good morning, friends. Chad here, Colorado Giants. Today's May 3rd, my day off. I'm in the garage with the pumpkin plants. It's a beautiful day outside today, so stay tuned. We're planting our pumpkin plants. The first step, obviously, in planting pumpkin plants is to get them out into the greenhouse, if you have a greenhouse, or your patch. A few things that should be worth mentioning when it comes to taking your plants from inside and then putting them outside. For the last, those were probably 2 weeks old. They have been inside under light bulbs. A light bulb is a poor imitation to the giant burning ball of flame, a few bajillion miles away, that is called the sun. Because of that, the light is much more intense, and just like if I were to throw Charlotte outside, my baby, she gets sunburned like the half Swedish baby that she is. So you have to shade them. Typically, I probably would have put them outside for a few hours a day to get them acclimated to the sun, but yesterday it actually snowed, so we didn't get. Last April was the third driest April in recorded history of Colorado. And then yesterday it rained all night on Sunday night, and then a good chunk of the day started to snow on Monday. And then we got almost an inch of rain already in the second day of May. So that's awesome. But because of that, with the weather being a little wonky, I didn't acclimate them, but that's okay. I can do that in here. The greenhouse as a whole is probably about 20% shade. And then once I get the mini hoop houses set up, that's another 20% shade. So they'll be in essentially 40% shade, which will make them, fine and happy, and it'll get the job done. And they will harden off. So I've got the plants in here. Let's talk about the process of getting them into the dirt. So here's the patch. Obviously, we saw it in the last video. And if you've been tuning in for a while, you've seen lots of it. If you're new, hey, subscribe to the channel. So here we are, that weed killer that I sprayed doesn't look like it did a darn thing, so I would not recommend whatever that jug I got from Lowe's is. It didn't do a good job. So we had started 3 plants. Let me back up. 1 pumpkin is going to go in each plot. We'll start a pumpkin here, we'll start a pumpkin here, and then we'll start a pumpkin here. To weed it down to get the best plant possible, we started 3 seeds for each spot. So today, only 2 are going to get planted per spot. This one had a failure to launch, so we only have 2 to choose from, so both of those will get planted. The genetics on this plant were fantastic, so both of those are going to get planted. This is the one where a decision has to be made. So let's check out the plants real fast. These are the 1676 news. These were the 2000 or the 2350 Ginger times the 2005. Between these 2 plants, like right now, this is a better looking plant. So if you're just planting one plant, you want to compare. You want to see which one looks better. Like this looks better than this one, even though it's the same seed. This is the only one where we have a decision to make. And I gotta say that, this is the best looking plant out of the 3. This one would probably be the second best, and then this one would be the third best. So this one probably won't get planted. This one I think is the Skinner. Yep, the 2112 Skinner. This is the Wallace, I believe. 2114 Wallace, and then this is the 23 Wolf. 2356 Wolf. And then those are the 2350 Gingers. This one is pretty interesting. So this one looks good. This is a fine looking plant. And then this one starting off a little weird, might be a little touched. This could be a double vine. but we'll still plant it. We'll let it rock and roll. You never know. Sometimes if it's a double vine, you can cut it off. If it's a flat or a ribbon vine, sometimes it'll grow out of it. But we're still going to plant two. If I really was feeling hot and bothered by it, what I could do is take this plant and like plant it near this one. We'll see how it goes with that. But that's why you plant. These are the same seed. This one may have some issues, this one doesn't. And if you don't know what a flat vine or a double vine is that the pumpkin plant grows in a vine, just one vine, and from that one main vine, secondary vines and whatnot will come off. So you can tell that all these plants are just like one plant sprouting forth from a central point. This one looks like it might have two plants sprouting forth from two central points. So that could potentially be a situation. And if that happens, we'll talk about it. If I don't end up planting that plant, I will still keep it around. Just like I'm going to pot these ones up, I'll take these ones out of the pots. I'll put those in there. Because what if, like, when I was bringing the plants in, like one of my turkeys came in here and he's like, oh, hey, those look delicious. And I saw it and I started running my fat ass butt up here and hollered at the turkey before I could, snack on the delicious young pumpkin plants. That'd be bad. So that's your update on that. Though the wife's got to go get her nails done, so we're going to let these guys hang out. In a few hours, I will come out here, erect miniature greenhouses inside of the greenhouse. I'll show you how I do it. It's super simple. We'll plant these guys, but let's break for that. And as per the usual, I got hung up yesterday and had to do a lot of things and stuff, and I didn't get a chance to actually plant my pumpkin plants yesterday. Instead, I set them up in a makeshift greenhouse for the night. All I did was take that shelf that I took out of here. I put the plants on the shelf, and I put a 150 watt light chicken lamp in there, and then I covered it in plastic. Let's zoom out so you can see. So that works to keep them cool. It's been raining all day and it's pretty chilly outside. It's actually not too bad in here, but that's just making it like 100% humidity. It's quite muggy in here, and I doubt I will get done in time today before I lose sunlight to get the pumpkins actually in. But I'm here right now working on it, and I wanted to show you this step. So the hoop houses are 3, 6, 9 feet by like 8 feet, and all I do to erect them is I put some rebar in the ground. I just tap it in, and then I slide these PVC pipes over it, and then with the aid of those binder clips right there, all I'm going to do is just clamp the plastic on. Two things worth noting here in this here situation. Placement of your pumpkin plant. This one is going to go where the stake is. That is 8 feet away from the wall. And typically I'll plant my pumpkins right there. But I went 5 feet further up, and I might even scoot it up a little bit further because I'm going to do the Mike Schmidt method. I think he calls it the spider. I really like that method. So when you're starting your pumpkin plants, you have to have an idea of what pattern you want to grow them in. All the other ones will be Christmas tree pattern. If you don't know what that means, the main vine of the pumpkin plant runs this way, and your secondaries will just go sideways. So it looks like a ladder, but as it's growing, it's in the shape of a Christmas tree. And then somewhere the pumpkin will be set on the main vine, and then it continues to grow. This pumpkin plant with the main vine starting right here, it gives you space to wrap the secondary vines back. So as the main vine goes this way, we'll take the secondary and we'll cut it back. Cut it is the wrong word. We'll bend it back, and then it'll kind of look like maybe like a waterfall or a weeping willow or a palm tree, whatever analogy you want to use. And then as the main vine goes, probably we'll say 15 or 16 secondary vines later, we're going to cut off the main vine after we set a pumpkin. So it'll go main vine, main vine, main vine, pumpkin, and then no more main vine. We'll use the secondary vines to then fill in the front behind it. Mike's plants are quite large, in the neighborhood of like 1,200 square feet and like 30 feet wide. I'm not going to have enough room to do like the full waterfall effect. I'll maybe get, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 vines on each side. So 10 vines to really get the full wrap back. And then the other ones will kind of just curve back in a speed pattern. So it'll be a modified spider. And then the other 2 will be a Christmas tree. And then the size of the greenhouse. This is really when I designed this last year, I was a few weeks ahead. So, I will probably not need the protection from the cold in 2 or 3 weeks. So these hoop houses are honestly too big for, because I have a greenhouse, I'm really not going to need a lot of additional protection from the extra cold that this would provide. However, I would rather have it than not have it. So I will keep this, I'll keep these up. I'll build them as I built them last year and just kind of roll with it. But keep in mind, you do not need something this big. You do not need fancy vine patterns, Christmas tree, flag, whatever. It'll grow you a giant pumpkin, I promise. So just get simple with it. Get simple with it if you are new. So don't get too fancy. Don't let it confuse you or complicate things. And so I'm going to finish this up. It'll probably be tomorrow, which is Thursday the 5th, if I'm lucky to get these plants in the dirt, which again is like 2 weeks behind where I really want to be, but whatever. We'll catch up. So we'll probably see you tomorrow. At long last, our 1-day project turned into a 3-day project. We are ready to finish everything up. So this is going to be the end to the video of setting up the hoop houses. So these mini hoop houses are all set up. They're ready to go. Even though the historic last freeze day for Colorado is Mother's Day, it can still get really cold from now until, all of May, really. So these will probably stay up until the end of May, and the purpose will be to just keep the plants warm. So we can let's go over to this first one. It's the most done up at the moment. And I'll show you. So here they are. We just put the plastic on with these binder clips, and then the end piece of plastic is its own separate one. Oops, I'm losing the phone here. There we go, it's better. Get the tripod out when we're up close. So the outside piece of plastic is its own piece of plastic, so that during the day when it's hot, I can take off the binder clip that's holding that on, and we can get some ventilation. And then on the inside, the pumpkin plants are in. I was planting those, so that's why the back flap is off. Each one has its own little space heater, and at nighttime those will kick on. And that is how you set up a greenhouse in the greenhouse. We're going to segue into another video after this one on how to plant your pumpkin plants, but that's it. All I really have to do is water them. So thanks for watching this drawn out video. Catch you on the next one.